out before I even just looking terrible today. Oh, and you got me up on the big screen. You got me wide awake. There we go. We're going to do a 44 Farms hat today. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Jake. Good morning, Lee. Good morning, Zach Attack. We're a little late here, but you know what they say? Better late than never. We got LeVar saying, ready to give my expert opinion on why I feel the Giants will be a playoff team. Well, I would like to know that reason. What's up, Big Jake? Is a started up big guy. I started up I'm not late. My computer would not turn on. It wouldn't turn on here. I look like a random truck driver right now. Sitting there going, we got the Giants starting the season. We got everything going on. Barkley says, oh, and Tony runs good routes, at least in practice. We also got Mike saying there, Tim, there's a reminder. Xavier McKinney interview with Steve Serby yesterday. Robinson equals Waddle. Punitive versus collaborative, scared of messing up. Go out and make the plays. Wow, that's a lot. That was, I'm not late. I'm here, everybody. I'm here. I made it. Okay. Because they screw you when you go through the drive-thru. You know what? Season starts. Not season starts. No excuses. I couldn't get this thing wouldn't work. I had to go grab another mouse. I couldn't get the camera to turn on. You know what the thing is? We got training camp. We got guys reporting on Wednesday. Full team reports on Wednesday, which is nice because you know what? We can finally get this damn season started already. I'm tired of waiting. I'm tired of all the prognosticating. I'm tired of all the crap that goes on in reference to getting this season even underway. The excuses will stop on when. Oh no! How crazy am I? I'm thinking the excuses are going to stop on Wednesday, and I love it because somebody sent me a message yesterday, and they said, "How long before we have the Daniel Jones excuse that he's running a new offense, which is why he's not playing well? How long until we get that excuse?" And I said, you know what? I didn't even think about that. It's like, I wasn't even thinking about it. It's like, I'm giving it a day. We got Jeff in his house. What's up, Jeff? Hey, Jose G is dropping by saying hello. What's up, Jose G? How's everyone doing? But, you know, we have no excuses. We really need to get, you know what? I've been saying this over and over again now for these Giants. It's been 10 years. It's been 10 years. It's time.
Time to nut up or shut up.
I don't care this is a new regime. I don't care this is a new coach. I don't care this is a new GM. I don't care this is the last year that Daniel Jones could potentially be the quarterback. I don't care that we're going into it's time. Good franchises, good organizations turn around and they make things happen. They don't make excuses all the times why certain things didn't happen. And that's why I saw the article about Xavier McKinney basically bashing the other franchise, the other part of this organization, the other part of this team, you know, what happened last year. And I've said this before, I find it within poor taste, to be honest, to sit there and pontificate about an organization that's no longer here. This is something new. I got to turn my headphones around. Yeah, hold on. I turn my headphones around. This is no longer your parents' Giants. This is a new organization here. This is a new team. So what we need to do is we need to get away from the ifs. We need to get away from everything else, and we need to start being an organization. Zach says, I really think that after the first touchdown by the Titans, Giant Twitter would be calling for firing to Brian Dale. I'm hoping it's not going to go that bad, Zach. I'm hoping it's not. But I'm also hoping that people understand that there has to be something this year. I've already said it. I'm not worried about the wins or losses. How many times as an organization can you sit there and say, I am not worried about the wins and the losses? I'm not. They are what it is going to be. If we get 4 wins, as long as we're competitive, as long as we're have the building blocks for the future, I'm fine with that. We get 6 wins, I'm happy. We get 2 wins and we look horrid, then I'm going to be upset. But it's one of those things you have to build towards the future. You got to build. And this is it. We're going into camp on Wednesday. Rookies are already reported. And of course, we have our first injury of the season. We got Daniel Bellinger going down with a quad. How the hell do you go down with a quad when you're not even allowed on the field? Don't forget to hit that like button, smash that like when you get a chance. How do you go down with a quad? And then to be placed on the physical unable to perform list. How do you go on the pup with a quad? The first week The first day or two of training camp. And they're not saying anything. This over-controlling of the media from the Giants' perspective is going to get, and I've said this, okay, I said this about Joe Judge. I said, you could do all the Harry High School shit that you want. But the moment you start losing and you don't show progression, the media is going to rip you. The Giants right now are in some ways like a little bit of like a little island in the Caribbean, a little island where there's a dictatorship. And right now they are controlling the media narrative for everything. The problem is if you do not start winning, if you do not show a progression, this media, not only the New York media, but the national media is going to destroy you. It's going to rip you apart. So you need to lighten the reins up a little bit. Just lighten up a little bit. Let the media in. Let them play. Let the media in. You have too much faith, Tim. I do have too much faith. I admit that. You gotta have faith. Ooh, you gotta have faith. I got faith. I do. Mr. Albert says, I had the thought recently that people make the excuses that what if Daniel Jones is another team, but some people are more happy to see Saquon walk. It makes no sense. I do find that interesting about Saquon. What do you think, baby Saquon? I want to be a Giant. The thing with Saquon is you're right. So many people are concerned about Daniel Jones sucking this season than going out in 2023 and lighting it up. But you're right. Who's concerned about Saquon Barkley? Saquon Barkley has a track record of 2 seasons where he's rushed for over 1,000 yards, one of the best backs in the league. Daniel Jones has never been the best of anything. You should be more concerned that Saquon, let's say, has a so-so year. He goes and signs maybe a 1 year or 2 year prove-it deal someplace else, and he rushes for 2,000 yards. You should be more concerned about that than you should be worrying about Daniel Jones. Because you're getting rid of Daniel Jones next year because you're not going to give this kid 30. If he has an average to good season, I still do not think the Giants brass is going to sign this kid for $30 million. Because they've already been burned. I know it was a previous regime, but you've already been burned by
King of the almost sack.
You've already gotten burned by Leonard Williams. Paying him out after one good season. And we're paying for that right now. But Jeff says, new GM, new coaching, new players, fresh start. By the end of the year, they need to be showing us something. You got to show us something, Bama. Show me something. But I think I complained about Adoree Jackson the other day because he blasted Mike Vrabel. And he's gone 2 years removed. You got Xavier McKinney doing that. You know what? Stop worrying. You got Xavier McKinney doing that with the previous regime. Stop worrying what happened last season. Because you know what? Last season's over. It's done. It's kaput. You are now on the 2022. Don't worry about what happened last year. Worry about what's in front of you, not what's behind you.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
Dave says, I want to see things like a score or two in the first 2 minutes. I would like to see a score. T-bone, run the T-bone. I'm telling you, run the wishbone style offense. You put, think about this. You put Saquon Barkley in the middle. You flank him with Kadarius Toney, Wan'Dale Robinson. You have Daniel Jones. You have one of your tight ends who hopefully is going to be there. And you put Kenny G out on the wing. Run the T-bone. Shock him a little bit. We'll call it something else. We'll call it the G gun or the G bone, or we'll call it the G zippity doo. I don't know. We'll call it something. But I'm telling you, Mr. Albert says, I just do like I did see last season and rooting against the Giants every game. The way, regardless, I root for the winning team. We're not going to root against the Giants this year. We're going to root for the Giants. We are the New York Giants. Some say we must be great. I blame DJ. Allegedly, he had people over to DJ. Daniel Jones did have people. Good point. Daniel Jones did have his receivers and tight ends, some amount to work out. And I laughed because someone pointed out is it the curse of Daniel Jones? Mr. Jones? I don't think it's the curse of Mr. Jones. Look at this. I am being my feng shui here. I'm sitting here going, you know what? Things could happen. What do we got here? Kyler dealers exactly why the Giants need to start thinking of 2023 draft. Kyler had 24 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, and got 46. If Daniel Jones has 20 and 10, he'll do. Good point, Tristan. If Daniel Jones does that, he will be looking for like 30 plus. Kyler Murray, to me, people look at the touchdowns, looking at receptions, but you forgot about all of his rushing yards. You forgot about his rushing touchdowns. You forgot about how that offense was rolling until DeAndre Hopkins went out, and he's still going to be out the first couple weeks of the season. So there is a talent level and a difference of a talent level between Daniel Jones and Kyler Murray. They're like night and day. Kyler has now, outside of his rookie season, even during his rookie season, where he beat the Giants in the Meadowlands that rainy day, I was there for that game. He shows progress each season. Daniel Jones doesn't. So if Kyler's getting 40, yeah, Daniel Jones will probably be looking for 30. Easily, Daniel Jones will be looking for 30. Again, this damn mouse doesn't work. If Jones leaves, I say we start in Tyrod until we get Archie Manning. LeVar, that's going to be a long time because Archie's got at least 3 years. That's 3 to 4 years away. I just want the Giants to be competitive. I want things to get into camp. I think I did a video about it, and I wasn't blasting you in particular. I did a video about it. I see people like, 10 wins, 9 wins, 8 wins, 7 if everything falls into place. The cupboard's bare, guys. Go down the roster. Look at the rooster and just look. You have a bunch of rookies, first-year players, overpaid veterans, and a lack of talent at certain positions and a lack of depth at certain positions. Be happy with 5 wins. Be ecstatic with 5 wins. I went out on Friday and bought season tickets. Why? Because I think the Giants will at least be fun to watch. And I think it'll be interesting to go and do this. And I always tell people it's put up or shut up time. You hear all these people that tell me, like I said, I get blasted for, hey, Mark Stewart, what's up? I get blasted for not wearing Giant gear and not doing certain things. I'm not a true fan. Okay, I've said this already. I've done this already. Have you?
I'm raising the stakes right now. This is a poker game. I'm shoving my chips to the middle of the table. I'm raising the ante. Anybody wants in, get in. Anybody wants out, can get out.
That's what I've done. Can certain people say the same? That's all I got to say about that. Mr. Alvarez says, I got this gut feeling like Jones is a jinx on this team, and once he's gone, the Giants' luck will turn around. It's funny. Someone else told me that as well. I don't think he's a jinx. I just don't think he has the talent. There's a difference. I just don't think he has talent. Well, I think he has talent, but I don't think he has NFL Pro Bowl starting talent. Mike Lee says, and Murray can escape because he has pocket awareness. 100%. 1,000%. He does have pocket awareness. There was that. Oh my God. I can't remember. I think it was against the Texans. Kyler Murray went back into the pocket. I love it. 2 Texans around him. He somehow pirouetted, spun around, and as he's spinning, he threw the ball for a touchdown, and the 2 Texans collided, and they both got hurt on the play. Zack attack. I want a competitive team. I expect 5 to 6 wins. We're in 1 year of a rebuild. If people want Brian Dable and Shane to work, they will temper expectations. You have a head coach. You know what I give, and one of the reasons when I went out and got tickets is because the fact, excuse me, I got some was the fact that I actually I don't know if Brian Dable's going to be a good coach. I don't know if Joe Shane's going to be a good general manager, but I like the fact that they have set expectations since day one. They have basically said, we are on a rebuild. They basically said, we are going to, we need to rebuild this franchise up. We got to clear up the cap space. That's why they did what they did with Logan Ryan and Dory Jackson. They're going to have to do the same thing with Leonard Williams and Kenny G. But they set expectations. They are telling you, we're probably going to be bad. We're in a rebuild. But there's too many other people out there that are like, oh, no, we're going to win 10 games. CJ Stroud looks more promising than Daniel Jones, and he's in college. Hello, you're not wrong. Big Mark, I already said hello, but I'm going to say what's up to you, Big Mark. Greeny Green's in his house. What's up, Greeny Green? Oh, my goodness. What is Zach Attack got to say here? I want a competitive team, but 5-6 wins when you're Rebo. I already got that one. I'm sorry. What's up? I already got that one. Zach, you repeated that one twice. I just talked about that. Jake says, how much roughly are season tickets nowadays? I'm not going to get into prices. It's the PSL. And no, the season tickets does not include parking. I don't want to get. They've done some stuff with the PSLs that have made them more palatable. But the single game, the per game tickets are actually pretty low, pretty good from. And I got the first row in one of the sections. So I'm not going to get into where I'm sitting either. But we're gonna actually, when I get closer to the season, I'm going to film from the seats, and we're going to do that, and I'm going to do a couple games. I'm gonna do a couple. I'm gonna call a couple games. Zach says, I saw a video where Dable is telling the team to extend over first down line and the goal line. Sometimes Mr. Track Coach didn't like his receivers and running back doing. Dable wants to win by all means. That's a great point. Now, the opposite side of that fence is the fact that you're opening yourself up more in reference to you're opening yourself more to reference of what you call it. You're opening yourself more to turnovers. Green says DJ rating has a 70 on a Madden rating. I don't follow Madden. I mean, I play Madden. I'm still NFLK 2K3. Yeah, I mean, but it is what it is. Jose says, I'm not going to be at FanFest on Friday. I am going to go to training camp. There's a couple days I am going that I'm slated to go. FanFest, I can't get out to. So hope everyone has fun. No, all right, listen. No running laps. Last year I didn't go to FanFest and people started doing stupid shit like running laps. I called people out that day. So one of the dumbest I can say, it's a bunch of people who never played football because of the fact that running laps is a punishment. You don't run laps. We're doing it for support. You're supporting stupidity. So Jose G, if you're at FanFest, keep an eye out for people for me, please. When they start doing dumb stuff, tell them Tim says stop. Stanley says, hey, Tim, why all the so-called expert predicting the Giants finished last in the division despite the Giants having the easiest schedule? Here's the thing, Stanley. Remember last year? I remember the schedule last year. People broke it down before the season even started. And the last 7 weeks are all gimme games. You never know. You never know. They're not gimme games. You never know until the season is played. Somebody asked me yesterday, and it's Benny, and I can't remember Benny's full username. And I've thought about it after I sent him the email, and I resent him another email because I felt kind of bad after sending it, because he was asking me, can you do like a 53-man roster prediction? I was like, it's July. We haven't even gotten into camp yet. And you want me to predict the roster? What am I, the Amazing Kreskin? What am I, a magician? What do I got, ESP? No, I got no clue, because you don't know who's going to perform. You don't know who's going to underperform. I'm just going to say this. Just wait and see. Just wait. I can't predict that far into the future. I have to just wait and see like everyone else does. Jay says, what's up, Tim? Hey, what's up, Jay? Do you think all the pressure from the media and the fans will impact his performance on the field, or can he block it out? Daniel Jones, I'm assuming. I've said this before about Daniel Jones. I don't think he has the mental fortitude to do it. I really don't. I don't think he has the fortitude. I don't think he has the mental fortitude whatsoever to be in New York. I don't. Certain quarterbacks have that ability. Phil Simms had that ability. Charlie Conley had that ability. Y.A. Tittle had that ability. Eli Manning had that ability. Kerry Collins, of all people, after coming over from Carolina, then being dumped, then going to New Orleans and being dumped there, had that ability. I just don't see Daniel Jones doing that. I wish I did. Oh, what do we got here? Mike Lee says Phil Simms could probably still. Phil Simms looks like he probably could still play. Timothy says we got to get rid of MetLife. No. Good morning, Tim. Will the Giants trade Tate Crowder and 2 second-rounders for the 49ers for Jimmy G, 23rd, 3rd round, and cut Danny Dimes? No. They can't. Everyone's got to stop the Jimmy G bullshit. Jimmy G is owed like $26 million. Jimmy G is an unrestricted free agent in 2023. Why would you even go after him? Because you're going to stick with Daniel Jones this year no matter what. Why don't you just wait till he's an unrestricted free agent and you have some cap space? We don't have the cap space. Windplug. Hey, Windplug. Sam Darnold is higher rated than Jones on Madden. I don't know. I guess that's easiest schedule doesn't mean increased win totals. Right now, I am hard pressed to see where 4 wins come from. We stand. again, like I said, we have to wait and see, because you know what? You're going to run into teams that are going to be good that you do not expect. You're going to run into teams that are going to be bad that you do not expect. You're going to run into teams that are going to hit on a winning streak that you have no idea they're going to hit on that winning streak. You're going to have teams that are going to run into a losing streak. So I said, unless I got ESP, I can't predict. I can't predict that far in the future. I wish I could. I wish I could. Throwing shot at Mad Dog. Mad Dog. You mean Mad Dog from the radio? I'm not throwing a shot at anybody. I like Mike and the Mad Dog. Chris Russo. I like Chris Russo. I like Chris a lot. What's up, Michael? Tim, I'm at work listening to you. Keep up the great work, man. I say 6 to 7 wins, barring injury. Whoop. Whoop. There it is. I'm saying 5. I can see 6. It's going to depend on your running back. At the end of the day, Saquon Barkley is going to carry this team. You can all talk about Daniel Jones. You can all talk about everything else. Saquon Barkley is going to carry this team. If he does not, they are going to. You could talk about, and I think the biggest thing we need to address is who's going to call the plays. I don't think it's going to be Kafka. I think Dable's going to do it from the field. I think it's going to be the Kansas City thing going back a couple of years ago, where we had Eric Bieniemy installing the game plan during the week and and the Walrus calling the plays. I think Brian Dable's going to do the same thing. I think Kafka, who came from Kansas City, who worked under Eric Bieniemy, is going to install the game plan, and Dable's going to call the plays. I don't trust a 36-year-old play caller. Sorry. You don't know. And he's been in the league for a hiccup. I don't trust it. Too many nuances. You're gonna run into a defensive coordinator like Wink, and you're gonna trust a guy with zero experience to call the plays. I don't see that happening. Zach Attack says teams are in the NFL for a reason. Every time a team overlooked bad. Josh Allen versus Josh Allen came to mind. Jacksonville stomped on Buffalo. Jacksonville also beat Indianapolis at home to knock them out of the playoffs. You don't know. It's any given Sunday. Any given Sunday. Mr. Alvarez says, Daniel Jones looked terrific when he was drafted. He's over his head. He will definitely feel the pressure. We're talking about a guy in year 4 who we still have a question mark on, who we are still saying is feeling the pressure. He's in year 4. He had 3 good games his rookie season, like 2 his next season, like 2 the other season. He's had like 7 good games in 3 years. And we're still worried about him feeling the pressure. That sums up that it's time. What does Stanley say? Stanley says, I think the Lions and the Giants are going to be surprise teams in the NFL this season. I bashed Jared Goff. I did. I said there was only one quarterback I wouldn't take over Daniel Jones, and that was Jared Goff. Then I looked at the film in Detroit. Then I looked at some of his stats, and I'm like, Jared Goff's not as bad as I thought he was. He was just on a really bad Detroit Lion team. So, you know what? I do think the Lions I don't think they're going to have a big turnaround, but I think they could have a giant S turnaround. Timothy says, will the Giants restructure Williams? No, they're going to get rid of Leonard Williams next year and Kenny G's contract to fill up around 21. No, Dable, I've said this before. Dable is protecting his cap space like it's his child. He's got the fatherly arms right. Why? I've said this before. I'm going to repeat it again. You can use 2 post June 1st designations per the CBA before June 1st to wipe. You could use those before. You get 2 of them you can use before June 1st. They could have designated Logan Ryan as a post June 1st designation, got rid of him off the roster. The only and saved and got an extra, like, I don't know, what was it, $3 million, what it wasn't, $700,000. But instead, doing that would have moved $3.5 million in dead cap space into 2023. Shane said, no, I want all the cap space I potentially can have in 2023 to help re-augment this roster with talent. That's why he didn't do it. So he's not going to the same reason he did not restructure the deal. He technically could have restructured the James Bradbury deal and saved the same amount of money he got by cutting him But the problem was you'd be pushing the money out over 2 seasons in 2023 and 2024. He does not want to do that. He wants to get rid of all the bad contracts, which is smart. He wants to get rid of all the bad contracts. He wants to get rid of all the bad deals. Have a clean slate in 2023 and 2024 where he can get his quarterback, where he hopefully can continue to augment and build the offensive line. He's going to have to rebuild the secondary because I don't think Adoree Jackson and X is going to cut it. What can fans expect at training camp Wednesday? Nothing. They're going to come in. Here's the thing with training camp. It's like mandatory mini camp. It's like mini camp as well. You're going to have like a week or 2 of conditioning exercises. Then you'll get on the field to run some drills. Then you'll do the pads. I think there's only like 11 or 12 padded practices now where you have full contact. So expect people just to come in and do this. That's what you expect people to do. You're not really going to get into like the bulk of training camp until the following week. Tyrone says, good morning, Tim. Good morning, Tyrone. How you doing, Tyrone, my buddy? Hope everything's well. Jay says, I like our Giants to tighten up their end of the half defense. I think it cost us at least 4 games last year. I agree. It did cost us 4 games last year. But again, like I said, this is a new defense. This is a new dawn. This is a new day. We are sitting there and we are just looking at this and saying, you know what? We're fine. We'll be all right. We'll be okay. Because you know what? Last year does not count on the schedule of this year. I want everyone right now, to look directly into their camera or look directly into the screen. Last year never happened. There you go. All right. All right. What does Jay says? In Wink we trust. I'm excited about the Wink attack. I've said this a million times. Whoops.
What's your assignment?
Kill the quarterback. Hit the tight end so hard his girlfriend dies. Kill everybody.
That's what I think Wink's going to do. I'm just concerned that the secondary is not going to hold up. Timothy says, Tim, will the Giants sign Saquon Barkley to a 3-year extension with $36 million? I would sign him to a 3-year, $36 million extension. I would do that. I would pay him $12.5 if he's healthy, and I would only guarantee the first year. If it's me. It's not your daddy's training camp anymore. It's not. I talked about 2-a-days. I talked about sitting on the fence in Tampa with Mike Allstott's wife, who was pregnant in 100-degree weather in the morning practice and the evening practice. It's not like it used to be, man. I remember sitting up at the university after staying at the hotel, driving from Troy, New York, over to the training camp and sitting there and talking to LeVar Arrington on the fence after practice. It's not the same anymore. Good morning, Mark. What's up, Mark? How you doing, my friend? Irish Rover is in the house. Hey, Tim. Shane is building the Giants. He knows how to do that. We need to be patient, enjoy whatever progress we make. Post of the day. Post of the day. You sound smart. You sound like you listen to a certain channel. Just be happy. That's what I said. I got season tickets because you want to know why? I think the Giants are going to be bad, but I think it's going to be fun bad. 83, where they went 3-12-1. Parcells' first season when almost got fired. That was not fun bad. That was just bad. There have been plenty of seasons in the 70s that were bad. This is going to be fun. A couple in the 90s, bad. This is going to be fun bad. That's what I think. It's going to be fun bad. And when I'm in the parking lot, I want to see everyone. I'm going to have the camera rolling around. I'm going to live it all through the parking lot, everything. I'm going to try to get to as many home games as I possibly can because I'm not going to buy season tickets and not go to the games. So I want everyone to say hello. Everyone ever stop by. When everything becomes official, when I get all the tickets and everything, I will tell everyone, give everyone the idea what section I'm sitting in. I will be over in the red lot, which I now think is the yellow lot. It's no longer the red lot anymore. Well, we're going to say hi. We're all going to hang out. We're all going to have a good time. We're going to do it every home game. And I want people just to be like Irish Rover says. It's a rebuild. Be patient. Daniel Jones throws 5 interceptions and has 2 beautiful touchdowns. Be happy about that. The OG QB comes in and has a great game. Be happy about that. You see Evan Neal progressing. You see the bookend tackles turning into what could potentially be 2 all-pros. Be happy about that. You lose 42-17. Don't be happy. But understand, you know what? It's a rebuild. It's anything that's a win is gravy. Your head coach and your general manager are saying it. Just enjoy the day. Enjoy the day. Caveat emptor. Let the buyer beware. And that's what I did when I bought the tickets. I'm the buyer, and I'm bewaring of what the organization is going to be. Mark says the G-men will surprise people. I hope they do. I hope I'm dead wrong, and I will come on here like I always do when I'm wrong and say I am wrong. And I will be happy to be. I've said it a million times. People are like, you're a Daniel Jones hater. No, I'm a Daniel Jones realist. But you know what? If the kid goes out and balls out and I'm wrong, thank God. I'm happy about being wrong. I'm happy about it. Mr. Roberts says, next year's draft is making me a little nervous. Hopefully our run blocking line can improve as good as our pro pass blocking next season. Class quarterbacks and mostly pocket passers. You're right. You know what? You're right. There's pocket passers, but you have to also remember you have 5 teams with two first round picks in that draft. And one of them is the Eagles. Not happy about that. So we have to be cautiously optimistic about what kind of quarterback we're going to get. Tyrone says, I love the McKinney interview. I love the McKinney interview, Tyrone. I did not like facts that he basically took shots at the previous regime. I think that's Bush League. I said the same thing when Adoree Jackson did it. You need to have personal responsibility on your own. And you know what? The season is over. Stop worrying about what happened last year. Move on. Ronnie says it best. Yep. Clean slate. But if we're winning, Leonard Williams will restructure. Leonard Williams is not going to restructure. You can't pay this guy 20, even if you restructure him down from 28 to 17, which he's probably worth more like 12. It's not worth it because of the fact that he's going to protect that. I'm telling you right now, guys, he would not have dumped Logan Ryan for $700,000 and then turn around. He just wouldn't have done that. He wouldn't have dumped him, Logan Ryan, for $700,000 when he could have saved millions this year. He could have. Well, we got naked girls in the house. This guy's been blocked 1,000 times. I don't know why he keeps coming. We got our first $2 super chat. Of course, all super chats go to the Philadelphia Children's Hospital. Massive salute to Tim the King. Drop by to pay the proper respects. Kicking the slapping them stinky siggles out the door. Forget about it. I always love when the Tuto drops in. Tuto gets me excited. Tuto gets me happy. Tuto gets me rolling. Picture me rolling. Let's see here. Thank you for super chat, Tuto. All super chats go to the Philadelphia Children's Hospital. What do we got here? Let's go here. We got another one. One offensive weapon you think Dable can have the most fun with, NFL or college. People think I'm bashing Wan'Dale Robinson. People think because I think he was taken too high. I do think he's taken too high. He's either going to be Percy Harvin or he's going to be Tavon Austin. But if you want someone that has more flexibility than Kadarius Toney, while Wan'Dale does not run routes, what I would refer to as proficiently, he is a better route runner than Kadarius Toney, but that's not saying much. I think I'm a better route runner than Kadarius Toney. He can be used more in the backfield. He could be used more on the pass option. He could be used more. I wouldn't put him on the outside because I think at his size he's going to get killed. He could be that slot guy. He could be a mixture. He could be a myriad of places that you can put him. So I'm still going to sit there and tell you if I want to look at a little bit of excitement and see what happens is I'm still going Wan'Dale. We got a good number of people in here. We got 60 people in the room. We only got 30 likes. What the hell's wrong with that? Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. We're trying to build the channel this year because my wife says if I don't build the channel, I have to quit. Ronnie says this is a new culture. I hate that word. Joe the Judge has made me cringe every time I hear that word. Culture. I always think of the 85 Bears. Offense hated the defense. Ditka hated Buddy Ryan. It was basically two separate units entirely. It was a terrible culture. But they ended up doing the Super Bowl shuffle. I'm not here looking for trouble. I'm just here to do the Super Bowl shuffle. Captain Mutombo. I'm sorry, that's Admiral Mutombo now. Can you be a possible candidate for can you be the possible candidate for DJ replacement next year? Oh yeah. I'm going to dust myself. I'm going to dust my arm out. Come on, retirement. I probably wouldn't make it into the door of training camp. Stanley says, hey, Tim, these teams are going to be the worst in the NFL this upcoming season. The Bears, the Falcons, the Texans, the Seahawks, and the Steelers. You forgot the Giants. I think the Falcons will be better. I think the Texans will be bad. I think the Seahawks might be okay. The Steelers, you can never take out Mike Tomlin. You can never discount Tomlin. Tim, what's going on? Tim, what's going on? Tim in the chat. Hey, Kareem, what's going on? Kareem is in the house, so everything's working out. Well, Ronnie says there will be someone off waivers to help the secondary. I wish. And I've said this before. If you're going to be relying on the guys that we have in the team right now to be a CB2, we might have problems. And waiting more to see what happens in the secondary, waiting for someone to get waived or moved, that concerns me as well. We already got rid of Corey Cunningham to pick up this other guy who's coming off an injury to play in the secondary. So it's troublesome. It's worrisome. But again, it is what it is because we have $6 million in cap space, and he wants what we refer to as, come on, everybody, let's say it, kiddies, operational cap space. That's what he needs during the season. Jay says, do you think Robinson can develop into a solid number 2 corner this season? I don't know. You're asking a lot. You're asking a lot from this kid to come in and play CB2. And I worry that Adoree Jackson's not only his health, but his demeanor is not going to be the hold-up guy as the CB1. If you take a look at Wink's defense over the last 4 years, not counting last year, his entire secondary was hurt last year, but he basically had 2 lockdown corners, 2 Pro Bowl lockdown corners. That was 3 years where they had that huge run. I don't think we have that. And that's why I get worried that he is going to try to emulate what he did last year and run into a brick wall. Mike Lee says, to be fair, Xavier, Steve asked him the difference between last year and I'm not blaming Xavier McKinney. I think the more prudent answer would have been, someone asked me that question. Well, Steve, let me just sum it up this way. Last year's over. We have a new coaching staff. We have a new regime. We have a new direction. We can't sit here and worry about what happened in the past. We need to look forward to the future. Yeah, I know. I know. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. That was good. Tuto says, "What's up, Miss Ronnie? What's going on?" She says, "Shooting back." What do we got here? Emmanuel's in his house. What's going on, man? I haven't seen you. Oh, it's like old home week. We got 60+ people in the room. We need to get those likes up to at least 45. Mr. Lee, everyone. Tuto's giving the big shout out. We got the big shout outs going all over to Tuto and all coming back. Let's see here. Let's say we end up getting Jimmy G. Not going to happen. Think the rumors are not true. How much better will we be as a team? We're not going to be any better. They're not going to be any better. Jimmy G, if you take Jimmy G's, I think the most amount he's thrown is 466 throws. That's his career high. He's injury prone. He does have a high completion percentage. He has a problem being in San Francisco. Could you imagine Jim? It's like if Josh Rosen would have came to the Giants. I said, no. He just does not have the mental fortitude or the mental breakup to be here. Jimmy G's the same way. It would be a disaster. If you want a Yankee reference, it'd be Ed Winston. That's what it would be. Jay says, who has the most sacks? Is your Thibodeau or Azeez Ojulari? I hope it's Ojulari. Because you hope he progresses off his 8.5 from last year. So I hope it's Ojulari. I hope Kayvon gets 8 or 9. I'll be happy if he gets 6 or 7. But I hope that it's Ojulari coming through with those big sacks. 4th and 20. 4th and 20 already. What happened already? Kayvon, Mr. Alvarez says, outside of Kayvon, are there any defensive rookies that you can think of that can play good for this team? There's a lot of defensive rookies. Like I said, we just did a profile on DJ Davidson. I think he could be a plugger. He's going to need to, he is more of a prototypical nose tackle. But the problem is he's more of a space eater. And I've said it before. If you go back and watch this film in college, where is Armando? If you watch this film in college, he's a ducker. He's a tucker. He tucks his head at point of contact, which is a bad way to not be able to find the ball carrier. Watch him. He puts his head down when he has point of contact. So I like Jaron. Leave it to Beavers. I've said that before. I think he could be a 2-down. Beavers to me is a 2-down linebacker. So, and if he's starting, we probably got some problems. But I think if you want to take a look at someone that probably can slide into the slot sooner or slide into a position where he could be a major contributor outside of Kayvon Thibodeau, I think you got to look at DJ Davidson because of the fact that we don't have a true nose tackle. Because if you watch Wink's defense, if you're running a true 3-4, we need that plugger. We need that problem. That's why Kayvon Thibodeau was listed as an outside linebacker. Same with Azeez Ojulari. Same with Quincy Roche, because of the fact that they're going to come from the outside positions. So you still need that true nose tackle who's going to hopefully take up space and hold 2 spots on the line. And you need 2 defensive ends. Am I comfortable with? I am comfortable. Reliability, I don't know, but I am comfortable with the depth right now. You got a couple other kids outside of Bellinger who could make something happen. You got Ricky Jones-Seals Jr., and you got the other guy. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. That's how wonderful he is. But I'm fine with the depth. I actually am. Yeah, I mean, I think for all the pomp and circumstance with Daniel Bellinger, I think he's a Jeff Ballard. I think he's a Kevin Voss type, somewhere in between. So I'm not expecting a shocky out of him. But you know what? I'm excited to see what happens. Zach says, "Where is Armando? I miss Armando. Hello. I am Armando." Of course, everyone knows I am Armando's brother. Mike Lee says, "Vegas has us and the Seahawks second to the Browns for getting Jimmy G. Oh, and the Browns signed Josh Rosen. No worry, Rosen's coming here." We're not getting Jimmy G. It's some of the stupidest things I've ever seen. Like, you know that. We're not getting Jimmy G. Jimmy G is not coming. Why would you even want him? Let's say it all again, guys. He's an unrestricted free agent next year. You think he comes here and balls out? We're going to give him $90 million? No, we're taking a quarterback next year. We've said this a million times. You win. A general manager wants to win with his quarterback and his head coach. Right now, he's got his head coach. Shane does not have his quarterback. Eric says, "I know you remind me. I'm the guy that's going to put up $1,500 on the Giants win the NFC East, boys. What's up, chat?" Yeah, I do remember you. I do. Did you put up your bet? Because that's a put up or shut up bet. I can't wait for FanFest. Got my tickets. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to head out to FanFest. Hope everyone has a good time. And like I said, Emmanuel, if people start running laps, just call me. Just call me so I can stop telling people to do stupid shit. Stop doing dumb stuff. But I hope you have a good time. Hope you have a great time. I'll be at least 1 or 2 of the training camp days. That'll be fun. What do we got here? Whoops. Yeah, right now. Let's see here. Ron says, "I don't want him." Ronnie says, "I don't want him. We don't want Jimmy G. We don't want Jimmy G." We got Irish Rover saying Daniel Jones is gone after the season. Of course he is. He's going to be gone. We're not going to worry about it. Mike Lee says, what does Mike Lee say? Vegas comments wasn't me wanting him, but wondering. Oh, no. I know, Mike. I know it's not you want it, but I'm wondering what Vegas knows. Oh, it's a sucker bet. That's the best way to put it. It's a sucker bet. I think that's a great way to put it. The sports books are always right. So, you know who's also always right? Not gonna lie. Pro Football Focus. The venerable Pro Football Focus. They are always right. They are always correct. They are always the one that we go to when we want the most information that we know is not going to be accurate.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
All right, what do we got Stanley over here saying? Stanley says, "I think Daniel Jones is going to have a good season because he's going to have an improved offensive line, better coaching staff, and more weapons all over the field." I worry about the offensive line. You have 1 starter returning out of 5. You have a guy that's got 300 snaps at center and has been injured 2 years in a row. You got Glowinski, who we've said it before. Is he a product of the system over in Indianapolis? Because he had a pedestrian career before he went to Indianapolis, and he also got benched in Indianapolis. You got a question mark at the right guard position. Is it gonna who's that gonna be? And you're starting there going, okay, you know what? Evan Neal's going to be an all-pro. I hope Evan Neal comes out as an all-pro, but you know what? We don't know. So there are 4 question marks right now in that offensive line. Emmanuel says, "I'm going to be at 5. I'm going to be at 5 of the regular season." Well, Emmanuel, I'm going to be at a couple of them as well. So you know what? We're all going to hook up in the parking lot. We're all going to have a good time. All the regulars and all the non-regulars, all the people that are always saying, "Tim, when are you coming out to the games? When are you going to be here? When are we going to sit down and chat?" We're going to have we'll have a little space in the parking lot. We'll have a little tailgate going on. Have everyone stop by. I'll announce where we're sitting. Have everyone stop by. Have a beer. Don't cost nothing. Have a hot dog. Well, bring your own hot dogs. Bring your own hot dogs there. But let's see. Mark says 8-8 would be an unbelievable season considering the changes don't have those slippers. Well, actually couldn't be 8-8. Well, Mark, we are now at 17 games. So we are going to have to be at least 8-9 or 9-8. We're not winning 8 games. Unless something amazing happens. Aiden says, so if Daniel Jones has a top 15 year, you don't want him. Nope. Said this about Leonard Williams. You are what you are the first 5 years of your career. You have a career year in year 6 does not mean in year 7 you are going to be that year. You are more likely going to be what you were before there. They are who we thought they were. Just throwing that out there. I got to get this mouse fixed. Let's see here. What do we got here? Mike says, thanks, Tim. Just spit water all over the desk with the Pro Football Focus count. We know we love Pro Football Focus. They're awesome. Chris Collinsworth, man. He knows everything. Did you ever hear Chris Collinsworth call a game? Sometimes he's like 4.5 minutes behind the action. But that's okay. It's all right. It's all right. It's okay. Manuel says, do you see us drafting a quarterback next year, or will we be too low in the draft to get one? I think there's a lot of quarterbacks in the draft next year. I think there are a lot of quarterbacks. I think we're going to try to get one. I'm going to say this a million times. And the general manager, most general managers will tell you this. Most people that were general managers will tell you the same thing. You want to win with your guys. Daniel Jones was not drafted by the Shane. Now, you could sit there and point and say, talent is talent. Andrew Thomas wasn't drafted by the Shane. Andrew Thomas does not play quarterback. Saquon Barkley wasn't drafted by the Shane. Saquon Barkley doesn't play quarterback. Quarterback outside of the left tackle, outside of other positions, is the most important position on that field. It is the most important position on the field. You want your guy under center. You don't want someone else's. You don't want someone's retread under center. You don't want someone who's already been here going into year 4, and we're still talking about his potential under center. He's going to want his own guy. So I think if Daniel Jones throws 30 touchdowns, 20 interceptions, 4,300 yards, I still think they're going to let him walk. Because you are not going to sit there and take a look at what he was the first 3 years of his career. Talent shines. Talent shines over mediocrity. And there's the problem right there. He's never really shined over mediocrity. He is the quarterback that we always talk about. Well, if the grass is cut exactly at 3/4 of an inch, if the wind is coming out of the northeast at exactly 1.2 miles an hour, if this happens, everything is perfect, Daniel Jones will excel. And now we need a quarterback that can excel in adverse conditions. We need a quarterback like Phil Simms who sits there and plays in the wind tunnel known then there as the Meadowlands and tries to throw the ball through 25-mile-an-hour swirling winds. And doesn't make an excuse when he can. Mike Lee says, for DJ, this year is a contract year for him. Oh, and a tryout for other teams. It is a tryout for other teams. It really is. It's an audition. This year is an audition not only for the Giants, but also for Daniel Jones. Mr. Elwer says, outside of Bryce and CJ, I say we keep our eye on Tyler Van Dyke. The dude has potential to be a quarterback 3 in this upcoming draft. You know what? I like I said, I'm not going to get into the quarterbacks coming out right now because, like I said, I mentioned a million times Spencer Rattler. We got 70+ people in the chat. We got to get over 42 likes. Spencer Rattler. We're going to have him last year. You don't know. So let's let the season play out. Big Greg in Sweden. What's going on, Big Greg? Big Tim. Yes, we are not good next year. Lots of potential in next year's draft. I know Greg's still over in Sweden rocking his Giants gear. I know. I can feel it. I can feel the osmosis of Big Greg in the Sweden. And Big Greg over in Sweden. I got the big doing it. L in the house, the big L. What's up, Tim? Let's get the season started already because I am ready. I'm ready too, man. Let's go. Going to games next year? We're all going to be hanging out in the parking lot this year. I want everyone this year to come down to the parking lot. Come down. I always park next to the Verizon Center, right next to the escalators, right there in the front row. Maybe I'll put up the online Big Blue tent. Come down. Bring me a beer. Bring me a hot dog. I will sit there with my big online Big Blue chair, lean back, and I will pontificate. I will throw out some nonsense. We always have a good time. It's always a good time. So come and hang out. Manuel says, I think all teams that need a quarterback will trade up before it gets before any get to us. And we rock with the OG QB next year. I like the OG QB. I love Tyron. But if he's our starting quarterback next year, we're going to be in worse trouble. Smash that like button, says Emmanuel. Thank you, Emmanuel. Get that like button up. We are only at 45. Come on, we got 70 plus people in the room. We're only at 45. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? OBJ now it's the wife says OBB chair now a tent. The money better be flowing. She's always keeping me in check. Beat the bully James. What's up? Beat the bully James. How's it going? Luckily, we already have a tent. Stanley says, hey, Tim, if Daniel Jones leads the Giants to the NFC championships but falls short of the Super Bowl, do you think the Giants still let him walk in the offseason? Yes. Because of all that happened, it wasn't because of Daniel Jones. It was because of the defense. And it's because Saquon Barkley ran for 3,497 yards and caught another 1,000 yards receiving. I love it because everyone says Daniel Jones can't rise above mediocrity. If they reach this game, if they reach the championship game, it's because the whole team played well, not just Daniel Jones. And I'm not bashing Stanley. Emmanuel says over under on receiving yards for smooth sounds of Kenny G. I said this before. I think Kenny gets 700 plus, which means it could be 701. And I think he's going to get not one, but 2 touchdowns called back. 2 touchdowns, I'm thinking. 700. I'm saving 700 plus yards, 2 touchdowns for the smooth sounds of Kenny G.
No.
It's Daniel Jones. And I don't know what the sound effect is because you know what? My board got all whacked out. All right, there we go.
Bringing you the smooth sounds of Kenny G. 72 million. Not worth it, as you can plainly see.
We got a bunch of stuff going on. We got a bunch of new sound effects coming down the pike. I got a bunch of new on the board. The board's all a little screwy right now, but we got a bunch of new sound effects coming up. Big L says, head to the training camp on August 3rd and the 5th for Fan Fest. I will announce what day I'm going to be at the training camp. I haven't decided yet. I got the tickets, but I just haven't decided on the day yet. Don't forget, we're also going to be there August 21st for the big 40-yard pass challenge, hanging out with James Williams, OGR Sports, and we said it before, he's flying in from the UK. He's flying in on his broom from Hogwarts. It's going to be the one, the only, the Hobbit, Dominic Palmer, flying all the way over to the UK for the August 21st Giant game, preseason game against the Bengals. Find us in the parking lot. We'll be hanging out in the field. You'll see us. Trust me, you're gonna see. You'll know where we are. Let's see. What does Irish Rover got to say? Irish Rover, since my sister lives in Secaucus, I may need to fly for a game. Would love to meet up with you and all the great Giant fans. Irish Rover, you fly in, email me, tim@onlineBigBlue.com. I'll tell you exactly where we're sitting. Love to meet you. Love to meet everyone in person. Met the lovely James Williams in person the other day, a couple of weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, or a week ago. Love to meet everyone. People always ask me. This year we're gonna make it happen. Captain Tyrone says Jones is probably gone no matter what he does. I agree. I think Jones could be. I mean, unless he all of a sudden becomes Dan Marino and throws for 5,000 yards, 45 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions, he's gonna be gone. He's gonna have to do something beyond special, and I mean beyond special. You know what? I got to get all the soundboards back up working. We got to get everything. We're getting everything in tip-top shape for Wednesday because we're gonna have to get on a regular schedule again. People are always telling me, you've been sporadic with the videos, and you're not wrong. I have been. And what we're gonna need to do is we're gonna need to get back onto a normal schedule and see exactly, we just gotta get that done. We gotta get working on that again. Mike Lee says, and the OBB chair is a lazy boy recliner with the beer holder. I like that. I like that idea. Best Giants defender this year. Best Giants defender this year. That's going to be, we got spam bot again. I block them. I put them in timeout and they just keep coming back. That's a tough one. That's a tough one because you got some guys with some opportunities. Like I said, I'd like to see Ojulari take that huge step forward. I like to see Blake Martinez come back from that ACL. I would like to see someone from the defensive line work their way into a more venerable position. I like to see someone. I like to see, but I'm going to take the cheap way out. I'm going Xavier McKinney. If he can stay healthy, if he can make that next step, we got to get up to 50 likes. We're at 47. So make sure you like, subscribe, ring that bell. You know what that means. That'd be awesome. I want to see us move forward with McKinney. I want him to be that safety we thought he was going to be when he was taken in the second round, when we thought he was the steal of the second round. So that's who I'm going to go with. That's what I'm going with. What does Fritz have to say? I'm skeptical about Daniel Jones as well, but the best case scenario for him, you know what? It's the best case scenario is franchise for him to become a franchise quarterback. I think that is beyond the best case scenario for Daniel Jones. I'm going to be skeptical, like I said, but if he plays, I've said this a million times for people, he's going to be the reason why we win more than we lose. Because he's the quarterback. So if he doesn't play well, if he doesn't excel, we're not going to excel. There's nothing. And you could like him. You could hate him. You could think he's the franchise guy. You could think he's not the franchise guy. You got to give him the opportunity, but you also can't sit there and not have a short leash on him because you're going to need to yank him out for Tyrod Taylor if you would think you really do have an easy schedule and win some games because there's no tank. I already got that question. Let's see. Irish says about the Bad Dog. Every time I run Island, I think about you from Bad Dog's channel. Yeah. Okay. Let's say Big Al says, do you think we have more game breakers on offense or in defense? Ooh. I think we have more potential on defense to have game changers. I think we have more potential on that way because I can't sit there and tell you Saquon's going to be healthy. I can't sit there and tell you Daniel Jones is going to find the magic juice that Willie Beeman took, and that, to get into the championship game against the Aztecs. I can't tell you if the smooth sounds of Kenny G is going to be able to find the end zone. I can't tell you if Xavier McKinney is going to learn how to run a route. I can't tell you if Wanda Ramos is not too short to play on the outside. I can't tell you these things, but you still have guys like Quincy Roche, who's going to be interesting. You still have guys like Xavier McKinney. You still have guys like Kayvon Thibodeau. You still have Leonard Williams, even though I don't think he's that great. He's the biggest overpayment I think we've ever seen. You still have all these guys that potentially could potentially crack a game wide open. Tyrone says the only way Jones stays healthy if he masters the offense to where he looks like a smooth running machine. Also, locker room support due to his lack of play. Yeah, I agree. He does. Big Tuto, thank you for cleaning up Tim, I've cleaned up the trolls for you on the live chat. Tuto, I appreciate that. Tuto also says, you know what? We got to the Tuto with the super chat is asking for you. So, we got to play it.
Who? Did you order the code red? I did the job. Did you order the code red?
You're goddamn right I did. Thank you for the super chat. Tuto, all super chats, of course, go to the Philadelphia Children's Hospital. We got to get the money flowing back to the kids, guys. You got to get, what people said? Someone said to me on the chat the other day, you know why you don't get enough super chats? Because you read everyone's comment in the chat. Well, why wouldn't I read everyone's comment in the chat? That's what you're here for. I think everyone's here to talk to me, not have me just talk on and on and on. So thought that was kind of funny. Ronnie says, no way. We have Taylor. We have the OG QB. I've dubbed him that. And he's always going to be that. Tyrone says, hey, Tim, ever think the Giants put out the Jimmy G rumors as a flyer to see how the fans would react? Someone said that to me the other day, and I thought it was crazy. And I'm not calling you crazy, Tyrone. I thought that was crazy. And then I said to myself, why not? The Giants are sitting there trying to control the media narrative from day one since this new regime took over. Why not put out some information to see what how the fans react? Because the Giants, out of all things this year, after the failed Judge experiment, after the Shermer experiment, after everything that went on with Gettleman, you need to build up some credibility with the fan base. So why not? I've heard crazier things. Ron, what's up? What's up, Ron? Juan, do you see Tony and Wandell being a legit 1-2 punch? No. Two guys play the same position. And honestly, I think it's funny that they took Wandell Robinson because he's a shorter Kadarius Toney clone who potentially can be a better route runner. And you went and took a guy that is a redundant position. That's what always worries me. Oh, Irish Rover coming in with the big super chat. Take care of the kids, Tim. Thank you. Great content as always. Well, I appreciate that, Irish Rover, and I always appreciate you stopping by. I haven't seen you in a while, and I always you're another one of the people that I enjoy. I would say 99% of the comments I enjoy. There's a small segment that might be a little vulgar, but your comments are one that I look out for because you either call me out on stuff I said or drop some knowledge. So I appreciate it. Again, that's just thank you very much. Thank you very much. And the kids salute. Bobby D says, new here. What's up?
Welcome to the party, pal.
Welcome to the party, Bobby D. How you doing today? Everything's doing good today. Everything's going well. Let's see here. Captain, I forgot. It's Admiral Matumbo. Why don't we have cheerleaders? I don't know. Giants have never had cheerleaders. I mean, I think they did in the 60s or the 50s, but I don't know. They're one of the few teams that don't. I don't know why. I'll go ask Mara. Oh, I'll get John Mara on the phone. He always picks up my calls. Well, Manuel says, I think Robinson will have a better year than I do think Robinson will have a better year than Tony. But I do laugh that you redrafted a redundant position. You did. There's no doubt. There's no doubt about it. You cannot look at that. And that was one of the reasons I had with the problem with with the Wanda Robinson pick is you got a guy that can do this. You got a bigger guy who can do the same thing. Unless you're going 4-5 wide all the time, you're going to have one slot guy. Neither of them can block. Tony has a better opportunity to play on the outside. And you got a guy in Wandell who's more of a slot guy, who's more out of the backfield, who's more of a gimmick guy. It's interesting. Manuel says, do you think Slayton is a giant? I do think Slayton is a giant. I did a whole video about Slayton, about Darius, and how last year some of it was his fault, but I would say the majority of it wasn't. And if you want to go back and watch that video, go back and watch. I can't remember what the video was called, but it was all about Darius Slayton. And I actually went through everything because everyone likes statistics. I went through everything statistically and analytically. And there was some problems with his game, but take a look at his percentage of throws, his percentage of catchable balls thrown to his side, the targets that dropped exponentially at times. And people are always going to point out the fact, well, Daniel Jones never got to throw the ball. And we went through and broke it down and showed you that Daniel Jones threw the ball above league average, which he threw like something like I think it was like an average of 34.5% throws a game. I think it was like 34 throws a game he averaged. So he threw above league average. So, but go back and watch. It was actually a good video. Ronnie says if Slayton plays well, he might be around. He's going to be around. I'm telling you right now, he's going to be around. Mike Lee says, but Mara is not that smart. Come on, we all know John Mara is the smartest guy in the room. We all know that. Fritz has to say, you want to build up credibility with the fan, they start winning. Yeah. Winning cures all ills. It does. Winning cures it all. Come on, guys. We're only at 48 likes. How do we only have 48 likes and we had like 70-something people in the room? What's going on here? Get up. Come on. You win games. I don't care if you win them ugly. Because let's say you win a game 13-10 and it was an ugly win. You look at the win column, it doesn't say Giants get a win. There's no asterisk next to it that says, but it was ugly. No, a win's a win. You win by 1, you win by 100. You still won the game. I think that's what we need to get up to. Well, let's see here. We got Ronnie and Eric having a conversation. Eric Howard was the last really good nose tackle we had. Nose tackle. Big Eric Howard, number 74. Yeah. If you want to say true nose tackle, yes. I would say Eric Howard. And that's going way back. Mr. Admiral Tumbo says, how confident are you with the punting situation? We got the Scottish hammer. I'm not comfortable. I think they're going to have to bring someone else in the camp to compete. He's had an up and down career. Let's see. We got everyone talking in here. Tuto says Irish. You know what? I'm just going to answer the question. I'm just going to read everyone's comments. Everyone else's. Tuto says Irish Rover. God bless you and your family, buddy. I'm sorry. I'm just being facetious. Let's see. Stanley says, hey, Tim, what's your thoughts on KG Jefferson, quarterback out of Arkansas, Bryce Young out of Alabama? Not 100% up on KG Jefferson. I think Bryce Young could be an Alabama product in kind of slight of build. So I worry about that. I worry about a Tua type thing. But like I said, it's too early to start judging quarterbacks. It's too early to start looking at it. Bobby D says, should have aimed for a receiver with greater upside than 5'8" gadget player. Bobby D, I will tell you this. I said the same thing. There were a lot of guys that were larger that probably had a better pedigree. But I think the Giants were going for the fit of the Dable offense. And I don't like I said, I can't tell you what it is yet, but we have to kind of just wait and see. 2 thumbs up to you, Irish Rover. 2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up and a salute. Ron says, what does Ron say? But Timmy, isn't the term you can't have enough pass rushers should be applied to the same you can't have enough playmakers at wide receiver? Yes and no. Here's the reason why. You can have a plethora of pass rushers, but the problem is, and because you have the room on the field, and unless you're going 5 wide, it's going to be more difficult of having a plethora of wide receivers on the field. So I think that's what we need to look at.
You say I have a plethora of piñatas?
We always have a plethora of piñatas here, but that's the problem. You can only have so many wide receivers on the field at a time. You could stack the line. You could stack the linebackers with pass rushers. You could go NASCAR going back to the 2007 season. You could do that, but you can't do that with the wide receiver positions. Galladay stat predictions. I already said 700 plus 2 touchdowns. Knock Andrew, Raider Nation here. What's up, Raider Nation? I always liked the Raider Nation because you know what? Because I always go back because I always want to do my NFL films. The Raiders. Something's the magical still lingers in the name. Oh, that's the Packers. That's the Packers. Oh, no, the Raiders are. The autumn wind is a pirate. With a black, burly mustache. John, that's always good to have the films with the Raiders. What does Mike Lee say? Mike Lee say DJ holds on to the ball too long. 4 to 5 wide receivers would be an issue. Yeah, DJ will get killed if you go 4 or 5 wide, and he holds on to the ball the longest time. And I've said this before. Everyone wants to blame the offensive line. 2 years ago, DJ held on to the ball the 3rd longest. Last year, I think he was in the top 5 or top 10 in reference to holding on to the ball too long, or holding on not too long, but just holding on to the ball too much. That's a problem. You got a bad offensive line. You cannot hold on to the ball 5th longest in the league. Liam, I like this one, Liam, because I said this. Wandale equals Smurf. Not convinced he'll hold up at this level. I know. I always think of was it 81 Redskins with the Smurfs? You got Charlie Brown. What's his name? Alvin Gentry. You had Art Monk in there, who was the honorary Smurf. Yeah, but I'm a little worried about that. Do you think the Giants will sign Eric Flowers in free agency? Eric Flowers is already where is Eric? He's already signed. Unless did he get waived? That I don't know about. Did he get waived? Now I gotta look up see if Eric Flowers got waived. Is Eric Flowers? I thought he was still is he a free agent? I thought he was with wait, now I gotta look up Eric Flowers. Yeah, he's still with Washington. Isn't he still with Washington, Eric? I thought he was still he went to Miami, got traded back to Washington. I had to think about that one for a minute there. Hey, Jeff, what's going on? Remember, September will be here soon. Start of the season. Let's hope for the best. If Daniel Jones goes 1-4 in the first 5, it's time to let him go. If he goes 1-4 and he's playing well and it's other reasons besides him, you got to play him. If he's 1-4 and the defense is playing well, then you got to move on from him. If he's not being competitive, but you got to roll the dice with Daniel Jones. You know, we've said it a million times. We're going to say it again. This is what you're going to do with Daniel Jones.
I'm raising the stakes right now. This is a poker game. I'm shoving my chips to the middle of the table. I'm raising the ante. Anybody wants in, get in. Anybody wants out, can get out.
People always go to me, why do you play sound effects? Because sometimes I need to drink water. Sound effects are a good way to drink water. What position will Wilt Chamberlain have best in the NFL? That's an interesting question. At 7 feet, he could be outside linebacker. He could just stand there and block the punts, block the field goals. It used to be great. We used to be able to jump and hoist yourself up. Then they changed the rules on extra points and field goals. You can't do that anymore. Tyrone says, I don't know. New rules help Wandale. The kid is super strong. I think he'll be fine. I don't think he'll not be fine. Honestly, I don't think he won't be fine. I just curious how you're going to use him in comparison. If you think people are such in a hurry to get rid of Darius Slayton, they're such in a hurry to move on from him, they're such in a hurry to drop him. Who is your true outside starting receiver besides Kenny G if you get rid of Darius Slayton? It's not going to be Kadarius Toney. You're not going to sit there and bring in David Sills, who's still here. It's got to be who's your guy with size? Who's your guy with speed? Who's going to stretch the field from the outside? It's going to have to be Darius Slayton. Darius Slayton is more important to this team than a lot of people give him credit for. He's more important to this organization than certain players because the fact that you don't know what you're going to get out of Kenny G. 2 years prior, Darius had the wheels. He had the steam. He had the ability to move forward. He had the ability to roam. But you don't know what he's going to have now outside of Kenny G. So those are the things that we need. Those are the things that we need to look at. Oh, I do have the Procaster right here. Hold on. I like how in the middle of a show I can start talking to myself. Oh my goodness gracious. Great balls of fire. We're gonna be wrapping up here soon. I'm going bowling. I'm actually kind of excited about going bowling. It's like 100,000 degrees here today. Irish Rover says, I think of the Raiders, I think of Blanda. George Blanda, man. George Blanda used to have to take out his teeth to play. George Blanda used to come in, I think he was like 46 years old and used to come in and throw touchdowns. What does Mr. Tuto say? Tim, the reason there are more viewers in the chat than likes is because the other giant content creators lurking around, checking everything. I'm capable of them seeing, but you can't. I don't know if that's true. It don't matter to me. I'm hated. I'm not loved by other content creators. Hold on. I need a moment. I need a moment here. Oh my God, hold on. Wait. Okay, I'm over it. All right, what do we got here? Mike Lee says, scoring in the last 2 minutes of the half would be a great start. Heck, scoring points in the first. I'd be happy with scoring points in the first half. It's all good now. It's all better. The T-Brad's here. What's up, Tim? What's up, T-Brad? What's going on? How you doing? Mike Lee says, I found it interesting that interview with Xavier McKinney said Robinson reminds him of Waddle. If so, he plays like Waddle Robinson. He's a steal. Fingers crossed. If he plays like Waddle Robinson, that'd be a great sound effect. Got all new sound effects. We got all new team sound effects coming up this year as well. I've been in the mixed laboratory. I'm getting the beats down. So we're gonna have some fun this year. Why can't I get this to work? Oh, here we go. Oh wait, yeah, okay, yeah, there we go. See, now I got the other soundboard up too.
Gentlemen, which brings me to my next point. Don't smoke crack.
Let's see. What do we got here? Wandale will play more games than Tony. Book it. Coffins, I actually believe you. I'm not going to book it because I think you're right. I think you're 100% right. I think that Kadarius Toney, if you take a look, even going back to his collegiate career, I don't look at production during collegiate careers after you've been in the pros for 2 seasons, going on your second season. I look at the injury factor because the fact that, you know what, if you were injured in the pros, a lot of times you're going to be injured. You might have injury issues. In college, you're probably still going to have injury issues in the pros and vice versa. So, I mean, it's one of those things. We got a Tuto giving out the big salute to T-Brad. Big salute. He's giving the big salute to Tyrone. You know, I think it's just should be the Tuto show because I love that Tuto. I gotta admit, I love what Tuto's in the chat because Tuto acknowledges everyone in the chat, especially all the regulars. So I think that's awesome. I think that's great because you know what, makes it seem like everyone's having a good time. Makes it seem like everyone's having fun. What do we got here? And Tyrone gives a Tuto salute back. I think at the end of the day, though, guys, when push comes to shove, we all have to, and we've said this a million times before, and I said this at the beginning of the stream, we're all just going to have to just kind of just wait and see what happens here. Kind of just have a feel for what this season's going to be, and then and we've said it before, just be happy about this season. And I'm going to keep saying it, and it's not a disparaging thing to the Giants, but it's time. It's been 10 years almost. It's time. You know what? We all know what it's time for.
Are you a big man? Pop! I'm talking to you. What? You wake up in the morning, you start putting on my big boy pants. Look, I'm wearing a belt. I got big boy pants on.
It's big boy pants time. That's what it is. No more excuses. If you're bad, you're bad. If you're good, you're good. But no more excuses. No more. We're going to make excuses for Saquon Barkley. No more. We're going to make excuses for Leonard Williams. No more. We're going to make excuses for Daniel Jones. The excuses are over. It's time. Just win. Just win or just look competitive. Don't run 2 victory formation plays on your own towards your own end zone. We can't ever see that again. There are certain things over the last couple seasons that we need to get away from. We need to get Daniel Jones falling out at the 5 out of our heads. We need to stop seeing victory formation twice in a row in our own end zone. No, Eric Flowers is still in Washington. But we need to see that. We need to see that. We need to see something. Take a shot, take a chance. Be bold, and mighty forces will come to your aid. But don't sit there and just be like, well, you know what? Be different. Win, lose, or draw. Show us something different. Hey, we can't possibly be worse than last year, right? No, never say that. Never say that. You always can be worse. But you know what? We just need to, we just need to try to be better. T-Brad says, we have to make excuses for Daniel Jones. It's a new offense. I always love that one. I always love that email I got. He was like, when do we start making excuses for Daniel Jones that he's running a new offense? I was like, is it too early to start now? Coffin's right. No more excuses. No more. Let's just roll the dice. See what happens. And some people are going to be mad, but I always say,
you can't handle the truth.
Some people can't, but this is what we're going to do. We are just going to, hopefully this gets turned around. Hopefully we move forward in a different direction. Hopefully everything is good. No, I believe he went to Miami, and I believe he got traded back to Washington unless he got cut recently, but I don't see him anywhere on the waiver wire. I still see him. I don't see him anywhere on the waiver wire. Maybe he did get cut. I would be curious if Eric Flowers did get cut. If we can, hold on, let me see here. Zach is not here. The Googler's not here. Yeah, he's still with Washington. He got sent back in a trade with Miami. That's what I thought. And he's still in Washington. There we go. Tyron says, no more end of the half. Hey, listen, no more end of the half touchdowns. No more end of the half field goals. No end. Let's just hold them. Let's just hold them. Eric Flowers' career is not over. Eric Flowers actually has turned into a pretty good interior lineman. He turned into a pretty good guard. It reminds me of Tony Mandarich. The big Tony Mandarich on the steroids. He was supposed to be this, the big left tackle, the big destroyer. And then, he fell apart because of the steroids and everything else. And then he went on to have more than a pedestrian career with the Colts as an interior lineman. I don't think Eric is like that, but I do think it's a very symbiotic relationship. Jeff Newman says 80s uniforms equals big boy pants. Listen, you got on the 80s uniforms and the 90s uniforms. You better win. You're doing 2 home games wearing these uniforms. You better turn around and show something. You better go out there, and like we've said it a million times.
Now, I don't want them to gain another yard.
You blitz all night.
That's what I want to see when you're wearing those 80s and 90s uniforms. That's what I want to see. What do we got here? Mr. Albert says, Daniel Jones looks so out of place in that picture with the throwbacks. He didn't look, I can't say he didn't look good in the uniform. And I mean, I think I would look good in that uniform. So I think everyone looks good. Flowers is a free agent. He was cut by the Commanders this offseason. He was cut. Okay. All right. Well, I keep seeing that he's still on the roster here. Oh, no, you're right. He was released in March. You are correct. You are correct, Tyrone. Thank you. Was it Tyrone? Hold on. I can't get back to my screen now. Ugh. Thank you, Tyrone. You are correct. Big L says doing it. L. The law of averages says we will be better this year. It's just like the law of averages will tell you that Daniel Jones will not be back next season. Hey-o. All right. It is 11:55 here in the AM. It's the best of classic rock on 94.7.8 FM. Bringing you Kashmir by Led Zeppelin. Camp starts Wednesday. Little housekeeping here. August 5th, we're still doing the Coaches Club ticket giveaway. You get to hang out with me, OGR Sports, James Williams, the venerable James Williams. And, of course, from across the pond, flying in all the way from the UK, the Dahmer, the Hobbit, the owner of Poppycockers. Oh, yeah, because you know what? We got to give a big shout out to Dam and Dom and drop it in one more time. Because if you're looking for any place to go, you're looking at any place to go to get your poppycock, there's no better place to go than Poppycockers on the West End. Tonight, again, it's 2-for-1 troll night. Oh, yeah. Make sure you stop into the Poppycockers for the big Dahmer. We give the Dom a salute. I gave the Dom a salute the other day. I gave him the big salute, and people were like, "Is he dead?" Like, no, he's not dead. I'm just giving him a salute. Just giving him a shout out. Bringing back concerts to City Gardens. We could, you know what, T. Brad? I saw last week or a couple months ago, a car ran into the front of City Gardens and took out like the front of City Gardens. I've seen the pictures that. I've seen the pictures of of City Gardens, that the inside, and it's funny because, no one's been in there like 15, 20 years. The inside looks exactly the same. Even though it's all run down and shot up, people are like, "Whoa, that looks terrible." I'm like, no, that's basically what it looked like back in the day. What do we got? Mike Lee here saying we got a couple more questions and we're out of here. Mike Lee says, do you think OBJ will take the franchise tag from the Chiefs? Orlando Brown Jr. Orlando wanted left tackle money. The Chiefs tagged him as a right tackle. So I think he's ticked. So I would not go that far. I don't know. That's interesting. I don't know. It's a good question. You can't franchise. No, he was talking about Orlando Brown Jr. from the Kansas City Chiefs. So the Giants one. Yeah, a car ran into City Gardens. It's in the Google it. It was in the paper. I saw it in the news alert about that. I was like, that's crazy. But I swear, like I said, if anyone's been to City Gardens before they closed, and people have gone in and taken pictures of it now, and it's like been in for like 20 years, I think, but it doesn't look much different. People are like, "Whoa, that's all run down and crappy looking." No, that's pretty much what City Gardens look like. But a lot of great places to see bands, though. A lot of big name bands went through there. Actually, Public Enemy played there. I saw Public Enemy there. Green Day was there. Nirvana I saw there. The Ramones about 1 million times. Black Flag, Henry Rollins, Guar. A lot of big names started their careers and actually came through City Gardens. So it is one of those things. And there's actually a documentary about it, and I cannot remember the name of the documentary. But if you type in City Gardens documentary, and it's actually interesting because you can see the whole lineage of all the bands that literally played at City Gardens. You're like, oh my God, all these guys were in Trenton, came to Trenton. But City Gardens back in the day was the place to be. I mean, that was the spot. And then, like I said, if you got the opportunities like the Stone Pony in Asbury Park and places like that, if you had that opportunity and that chance, that's where you wanted to play. You wanted to play at City Gardens. I remember seeing Nirvana there. And there was nobody there because it was either rained or snowed. I can't remember, but there was no one there for the Nirvana show. So plus you couldn't understand Nirvana either way. What does Stanley have to say here? Stanley, we're going to be dropping out these last couple of comments. Stanley has to say, "Hey Tim, I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will win the Super Bowl this year." I don't know. Todd Bowles, get a little curious about what he is as a head coach. We're up to 56 likes. I would like to have hit 60 before we left. We have to wait and see. With Tom Brady, you always have a good opportunity. We have 11:59 here. We got 11:59 here at the in the AM on the big OBB.com. Hope everyone had a great time. Everyone, we'll ask Mr. Alvarez will take your last one. On a different note, do you think the Knicks will trade for Donovan Mitchell? I think they will. They can't mortgage the farm for a 6'1" guard who was redundant to Jalen Brunson, who Jalen Brunson burned twice in the playoffs for 42 and 32 or 43 and 32 in consecutive games. Will not be a Melo type player. Melo was a different player all alone. He could rebound when he wanted to. He could assist when he wanted to, and he could play defense when he wanted to. Melo could. Melo was a true superstar. I think Donovan is a superstar in the making, but I do think we're going to end up signing him. Of course, they signed Kyle Rudolph. T-Brad said we got 4 wins. Mark Thompson dropping in. Like, Mark, we're out of here, brother. We're out of here, my friend from Barbados. It's 12 o'clock it's 12 o'clock in the PM. Hey, Tim, late to the party today. Sorry I missed the live stream with James. It was a very good show, though. The James show was fun. If you haven't watched it, I did a live stream in the house with James Williams. It was a lot of fun. It was a good time. Go back and watch it if you can. It was fun. Irish Rover says, enjoy your bowling. Jeff Newman says, good luck bowling today. Hope you roll a 300. If I roll a 300, I'd be surprised. I'm not a bowler. I'm not a bowler, but it's going to be fun. All right, everyone, we are out of here at 12 p.m. Look for all the new episodes coming up all next week, starting on Monday's big show we got coming up. We'll do a live stream probably we're going to try to do a live stream at least once a week now. Now that we're getting rolling into training camp and into the season. I appreciate everyone stopping by us for much as they did. We're only at 59 likes. If we hit 60, I'll be happy, but I know we'll get 60 over. I'm excited. Can't wait to see what happens. We'll have more information on the August 5th ticket giveaway for the August 21st game. Hope everyone can join in for that live stream because that's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a good time. We have to just wait to see what happens on Wednesday. Let's hope we stay injury-free and go into that first preseason game, and let's see what we got. All right, everyone, I am out of here. Hope you have yourself a good day. Hope you have a safe Sunday, and we'll see you coming up sometime next week. Thanks, everybody.